The monsoon has picked up strength after being weak. However, it has also resulted in causing havoc in Assam, Kerala and Uttarakhand. The flood situation in Assam remained grim on the overnight with the overnight rain threatening fresh inundation in low-lying areas, even as the death toll reached 89 and more than 1.22 lakh people remain affected. In Kerala, the flash flood affected regions across the state. There's intense rainfall over the next 2 days that's expected. IMD has issued a red alert for several districts in Kerala, including Pathanamthitta, Kottayam for that matter. In Uttarakhand, constant rain has resulted in authorities enhancing their monitoring as the water levels of both the Alaknanda and Mandakini rivers have risen. The administration of Rudraprayag district has also issued a high alert. What's really happening? Is this normal monsoon? Is this climate change? What must India do? Well, joining me right now is Advocate Harish Vasudev. Thank you very much. Good evening. It's a tough time. It's a tough time across different parts of India. What's happening in Kerala? Why I ask you this question, Advocate Harish, it was the last flood season I think I last met you in person. 2018, 2024, 2026, this is on repeat mode. This is extremely worrying at so many levels.
I think we have reached a level where the climate change has become a climate crisis and we cannot have a go back. It is evident in front of us that it is not a problem of theory, it is not a problem of academics, it is a real problem facing by every person who are living with in the coastal area or in a mountain, irrespective of the area where you are living. The flash floods are coming, the landslides are coming, the extreme weather events are getting stronger and stronger every year. Since 2018, Kerala people are seeing this, facing this. Government is having huge loss over public properties. I think we have met in 2018 when more than 25,000 crore loss has been happened in Kerala. Now the things are going in that direction. Even 2-3 days of rain creates such a huge impact on the life of the people because the rain, the pattern of rain comes like that. You can't imagine such kind of a rain in concentrated in such certain areas, especially for some hours. The total rain comes in within hours. The quantity of rain is more than what was earlier received in days.
Right.
So this kind of
Advocate Harish Vasudev, if I can ask you this, has anything changed on the ground? Why I ask you this question? Because you were part of a panel that gave its recommendations to the left government at that time. When the left government was in power, there were several floods and landslides that did happen. The Congress government is in power right now. Do you see anything change on the ground? You know, in terms of crisis fighting, in terms of immediate response, I think nobody will challenge Kerala. Everybody is on the ground when it happens. But what about the time which is a preparation to be able to handle the monsoon season, to be able to handle the challenge? Do you see policy implement on the ground?
It is sad to say that governments are not willing to address the main issue that anyway we are in a verge of climate crisis, so we have to have strong action in the field, especially the land use patterns, the drainage patterns. We have to design land more wisely. We have to handle reservoirs in a more friendly manner, safe manner. Now, this is not happening in Kerala, but the people's participation, nationally we are known for that. People are upfront helping others, especially the technical people who are working with fire force, police and the fisher folks. Communities are coming forward, but the government side, I am not seeing a policy change, especially in terms of the river encroachment. There is no action to widen the river to its original positions. There is absolutely no policy on the land use, because the riverside areas are being flooded. Rani, which is a town in nearby a river, also Aranmula area, which is also a floodplain. We are again constructing in floodplains and causing hurdles to the flow of river, and especially the pattern of rain. We have absolutely no design how people should live in a climate resilient condition. That is very serious, and governments are unable to move forward. Neither the left nor the present government is addressing. Present government I cannot mark, because they are only 2-3 months after the coming. They are just following the terms of the earlier government. But what sadly happened this time is that last 2-3 years the left government have not done anything to remove huge amount of debris which is in the wetlands, in the Kayals of Kerala, the backwaters of Kerala. So the backwaters are now not available for room for the river. The river bed is much below than that of the backwaters in Kerala. So we have to dredge the backwaters. You have to make a room for this water. Unfortunately, that has not happened. The disaster management effects, the impacts, it was evident in our report, PDNA report in 2019, but it was not taken to its conclusion.
In fact, I
And
don't even
after,
know whether there is a sense of urgency for this. Raghu Murthagude joins us. He's a climate scientist. Mr. Raghu, when you look from Assam to Kerala, both the states, Uttarakhand, all these states are known to have very bountiful monsoon, very robust monsoon for that matter. You've had spells and spells of rain, heavy rainfall in these states. Do you see the kind of flooding that's happening in these states as absolutely unusual, but something that could have really been managed?
Yeah, I mean, they are unusual in the sense Kerala is actually getting a little bit less rain in a seasonal total, but it comes as heavy spells, as the other guest already said. The problem is all the things he's suggesting are, absolutely right. What needs to happen? What also needs to happen is very specific information on where the risks are high. You cannot redesign the entire state. So we have to start somewhere. So widening the rivers and dredging the wetlands and recovering natural hydrological structures, they're all good ideas. But where do you start? You have to remember that the weather events almost never repeat exactly the same way. Why not? Landslide may happen once and then it may not happen again for 50 years. So it's a very difficult problem. And when we say governments cannot do this or that, people are also involved in settling in floodplains or on riverbanks or mining sand. So we have all a role to play. We all have a role to play in this. So stakeholder engagement and the government engagement, along with all the national disaster management, state disaster management, people who can actually map the risks at a very high resolution, literally at kilometer scale, are needed to come together. Can Kerala do it alone? It has tried very hard, but it's obvious that there needs to be also support from the center. It needs to collaborate with neighboring states to monitor regional climate, regional storm evolution, rainfall, moving systems, etc. So I think these are manageable. It takes time, and we are making progress on early warnings. But the end-to-end systems are not there in terms of people moving when there are early warnings, not even paying attention sometimes. People say, I went to the office and got stuck.
That's a fair point. That's also a fair point. Mr. Raghu, I want to ask you one more question, and let's look at Assam, because, Assam floods. During monsoon seasons, you have Brahmaputra swell to levels where there's usually flooding. But how do you look at what's happening in Assam right now? How different is it? Because Kerala has a very different pattern. Assam has a very different pattern. Both are part of India. How do you really look at what's happening in Assam right now?
Kerala typically gets what we call orographic rain. So winds are bringing moisture from the Arabian Sea. They have to climb the mountain and they dump a lot of rain because of that. Over Assam, you are getting a return flow from the Bay of Bengal, which is having lots of warming as well as a moisture flow, and it's interacting with the West Pacific, East Asian monsoon. So it has very different set of factors that are driving, plus its orography and its land use types, they're all different. But ultimately, it all comes down to land use type, as the lawyer was saying, that we are a little bit less careful than we should be. But also, the rainfall is changing at such a rapid rate that we have to retrofit many things, and there is a cost benefit analysis needed there. How much do you put, how much value do you put on a life saved? So we have to retrofit when it's necessary, when it's affordable, but also they have to be fit into the budgets, because crisis management takes so much of the resources that we hardly have any money left to build resilience, which is a longer term planning. So there are different systems, but
Sure.
basic ingredients are very similar.
Sure. A minute each to both of you. Advocate Harish, what would be, you tell the government at this point, what should be the first focused action plan that you would want to see as an expert?
Coordination of the activity, which is very important. The local self-government institutions, only the election has happened only some months back, so there are some members are not effective. I mean, they are not having such kind of an experience earlier, so trainings might not have happened in last minute. But following the guidelines in the strict manner, and instead of going into emotional side, we need to stick on to the parameters of especially getting earlier warnings. See, we are not getting panchayat wise warnings, so warnings should be properly translated to the communities, and community maintained centers for rehabilitation and resettlement should be there, at least for temporary purposes, till the heavy monsoon is over. We have to stick together, and that should be the first important message government is giving. And especially funds also, it is very difficult to get funds at this point of time in the lower area. It should also be gone to the public. Panic creates more problem. You know, especially at night when the reservoirs are opened, it gets panic and it gets more issues. So that should not be there. Proper communication is there. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Raghu, 10 seconds, I'm completely out of time. What would you say the top focus would be?
I think we need risk maps, we need preparations and capacity building for people to respond to alerts accurately and recover rapidly. All pieces are in place. We are not coordinating so well as we should.
Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much, Raghu Murthugude. Thank you so much, Advocate Harish Vasudev. Thank you so much for joining us.